there's even a move afoot right now, even as we speak, to search for some sort of a way to drop him as the party's nominee. That is a lot easier said than done. And then there is the issue of even if you were to push him to do so, he'd have to go along with that. And Donald Trump is indicating no way in hell he's going to be leaving. So Randy Evans is an RNC Rules Committee expert member. What happens, Randy, in that event? It isn't so black and white, right?
It's not. It's actually, there's a little bit of wiggle room. It's actually, Neil, in Rule 9, where there's some wiggle room where the party theoretically could deem there to be a vacancy in the presidential nominee, the Republican presidential nominee. There's also the ability of the RNC to itself change the rules under Rule 12. It's a time-consuming process. It would take about 10 days, but the party itself could actually even change Rule 9. But
they already have, what, 400,000 to 500,000 people have already voted. Millions of ballots are out across the country right now. So it would disenfranchise those who already have voted at a minimum, right? And it would also mean to those ballots that have been printed out, you got to reprint them all, right?
No, you're right. I said it's a legal possibility, but a practical virtual impossibility. With millions of ballots that have been already printed, with thousands of votes, tens of thousands of votes that have already been cast, with more voting starting, like, for example, in California on Monday, it's a practical impossibility. Now, listen.
But you can do something at the Electoral College, right? I keep rushing, and I apologize for that, but you can do something at the Electoral College, right? I mean, after the election, they meet in the following month, in December. Now, traditionally, that's sort of no drama. It's perfunctory. But there have been times where it's been quite crucial, right? So could something happen there, the meeting of state electors?
Neil, in this cycle, anything could happen. That's why I'm so cautious. That's right. That's why I'm so cautious about saying that's impossible. So far, the only thing that we've learned is that everything's possible in this cycle. Anything and everything could happen. The Electoral College is certainly one more step in the process that could could alter the outcome of the election.
And for whoever you win over, dumping him at the top of the ticket, even against his wishes, and then, as you point out, it's a shaky ground to be on, you've got all his loyal supporters who are still very loyal, who won't like that, right?
Listen, I agree. I mean, who would have thought that Donald Trump would be the nominee or that Bernie Sanders would win 23 states? Who would have thought the second debate would be the second debate would be about the tawdry details of locker room talk and about whether or not a former president did worse. None of this is anything that either you or I, even when you and I've just chatted about this, have ever even thought about. And so I think there's still many more things to come. We still have WikiLeaks sitting out there. But if you're a candidate or in this campaign, you have to be wondering, what is off limits? Because now with the discovery of WikiLeaks and every tape recording and every video recording, there's no telling what lies ahead.
No telling at all. Thank you very much, Randy Evans. And we referred to how the Electoral College could maybe screw things up or whatever, but it has happened in our past. 1872, Horace Greeley, the Democratic nominee, he dies after the election. The electors meet. They ultimately decide in Congress, so you can't give electoral votes to a guy who's dead. Bottom line, Ulysses Grant had already won the vote. It was a moot point, but it was a close point because a nominee had died. That's the only time that kind of thing has ever happened.